Seaside Band. Welcome. I invite you to come on in and take a seat. We're going to be starting our service in just a moment. Before I begin announcements, I want to just take a moment to honor our practitioner who will be holding the light for us today, practitioner Sharon Powell. Thank you, Sharon. We always have a practitioner sitting in the back, holding the light, the high watch, that space of just holding consciousness for the service. And I want to remind you that our practitioners are always available for prayer. We're available after both services for prayer. We also are available for private sessions. You can see us in the prayer chapel or come over to the side where the prayer request box is and put a prayer in there. So I have a few announcements for you this morning. First of all, happy Memorial Weekend. I like to think of it as the beginning of summer. It is for me anyway, Memorial to Labor Day, that's it. I'm not sure what the calendar says, but that's my summer. So I'm really excited that we're here and we're kicking it off. And just to honor all of our veterans and those that have served. It's a wonderful time of remembering. As always, we have all kinds of ongoing workshops here at Seaside, so I invite you to look into your program and your Inside Seaside. There's a whole list of ongoing events that you can take a look at and see what calls to you. We have ongoing workshops and classes going all the time. One of the things that I want to just mention is that the Cancer Thrivers group that was scheduled for this Saturday has been postponed. It's been rescheduled until June 15th, so it will be the same time, same room and all that, but it'll be June 15th, not this Saturday. If you notice out in the family room, we have a baker's rack that has food on it, and people drop off cans and things. And what we're doing is we're collecting food for the Community Resource Center here in Encinitas. Our goal is to collect a ton of food. So we invite you to bring some cans. 2 tons, I'm told, 2 tons. So there you go, bring double. And we're wanting to do that, so you can just drop it off anytime at the baker's rack, bring it with you on a Sunday or anytime during the week. I want to remind you about our youth and family program here at Seaside. We have a very wonderful youth and family program that is going on during both services. We have a space for our children 3 to 12, 13 during first service. And second service, we have an additional group. We have our teen group that meets over here in the Quimby room. And we also have an infant toddler room. So if you have a little one under 3 and you are not wanting to go into the quiet room, you're wanting to have some peace and quiet for a little bit, you can bring your little ones over into the infant and toddler room. And we have 2 wonderful young ladies in there to care for your children. Also, Wednesday night revealing service with Reverend Sunshine Day. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, I invite you to come on out here on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. It's a beautiful service. It's a beautiful message. Reverend Sunshine is so dynamic. And then she opens up for a question and answer, kind of a revealing time, which is a little bit different, but really, really nice. You get to be part of that. I am going to see Keith Russell. Where are you? Come on up, Keith. He's going to tell us about a big event we have or we're getting ready for.
Good morning, everyone. The garage sale is June 29th, Saturday, 4 Saturdays from now. Starting Wednesday this week, there will be 3 pods in the parking lot. Start going through your closets now. Take the stuff out that you haven't worn, that you haven't used, that extra TV that's sitting there. Bring it down. We can turn that into cash. One of my favorite ministers, Reverend Ike from years ago, he said, you got to get that money going, you got to circulate. So bring your old stuff in, got to circulate it, right? What are we going to do for the garage? We're going to circulate. Okay, so starting next Sunday, bring it in. If you want to bring it in during the week, you can do that from 10 to 4 as well. So thank you. We look forward to, and we're going to ask for volunteers next week too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate. Yes, all the proceeds, I understand, from the yard sale are going to upgrade all of our live streaming so we can take our message out into the world in an even greater way. So it's a great cause. Okay, today is New Member Sunday, so we welcome all the new members. You're going to hear more about that later. And it is also our 25th anniversary here at Seaside, which you've all been hearing about, but I want to mention once again that we do have the Silver Circle. You can sign up in the family room. It's a way to be part of our 25th anniversary. It's a program that you can hear more about from the ladies at the table, but you do get some things along with your giving there, so it's worth checking out. Last but not least, I think this is it, Gourmets for God. Gourmets for God is wrapping up its sign-up period. Today is the last day, I understand, to create your party, and I'm going to introduce and bring out Dr. Chef Christian.
Where we are doing Gourmets for God, and I'm chefing it up on stage. And today, as you heard, is the last Sunday where you can create an event at your home and be a host. And so I thought today I would do a little gazpacho. I've been chopping and dicing all morning. I got a little bit of tomato juice, which is a good thing to start with. We'll use a lot of tomato, not all of it. And fresh organic cucumbers that have already been pre-sliced and diced. Some onions. They said I used a little bit too much at the last service, but oh well. And some red peppers, green peppers. It's getting full. Some tomatoes, little lime, and a little bit of lemon, a few extra seeds. Some red wine vinegar, about that much. A little olive oil. Never figured out what that's for. Maybe to make it go down easy. I like the sweetness. A little agave right there. Woo! Whoa. Pepper. I like pepper. A little extra. Salt. Garlic. They definitely said I used too much. But hey, chef said more the better. So we'll just use a lot of garlic. And little cumin, just a tad for some flavor. Fresh basil and cilantro from my garden this morning. The top goes on. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. I got to taste it. The band was hoping I'd be making Bloody Marys this morning when they saw this. Okay, who wants to try it? I love my, let's just, what do you think?
Great.
Hey, there we go. I'll try myself. Whoa, that is good. It really is. Okay, we're going to chill it up. It'll be at the Gourmets for God table waiting for you after the service. So get by there. Get sign up.
With that sense of joy and excitement and enthusiasm, I just invite you to stand and greet your neighbor. And please remain standing for the congregational song.
All right, I had some of that from the first service, and it's really good. So I think he's going to have some in the back there for you. So please stay standing for our congregational song. This morning we're singing, God is my source, God is my power. That's right. Here we go.
God is my source, God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power.
Joy is my power.
Joy gives me
everything I need.
Joy gives me everything I need.
Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. All right, peace. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. All right.
Everything.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. I give thanks
For all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
God gives me everything I need. Everything. Yeah.
Hey, sounding good. And good morning again. What a joy it is to be here on this Memorial Day weekend, a day where it's official beginning of summer. Indianapolis 500's going on, where people ride around in circles. Why, I don't know, but it's official. Something good's going on here. And I know it's good because you're here. And Seaside continues to be a spiritual nexus, inspiring people to live their dreams, to live their divinity. It is a place where we welcome you. Wherever you may be on your spiritual path, know that you are welcome here without judgment, that we are an affirming spiritual community where we just celebrate the Spirit together. And so to help take us a little bit deeper in that celebration is a fabulous practitioner. That is Jan Hartman, one of our facilitators to our upcoming pracs.
And so let's take this moment together in this beautiful, beautiful sunshine-filled day and morning in sanctuary to begin our deep descent into that infinite source in the silence. And because I know the stillness, I know the truth of God. I know that God is the power and the presence and the infinite sourcing of all that exists, for there is no place where God is not. And I know that to my core because I know that I am one with that, and I serve and live to be a light and an energy and a servant unto all that is needed to shine forth for God. For that is my dream. And knowing that, I know that's the truth for each one here in this midst of this divine appointment, this divine time of choosing to be here, the choice of community, the choice of communion, the choice of moving and living amongst all who believe and know that God is the source of everything. And so as we put together this wonderful service, as you and I and each one here adds all they know and all they have to the music, to the lyrics, to the song, to the message, to Reverend Dr. Christian's inspired words, to all those who help put this together. I know it is good. It is rich and it is full and it is filled with life. And love is here and love abounds. And so I simply claim that and allow that to be. And so it is.
Love is a never-ending circle, and there's room inside, enough for all of us. Open your arms up wide. Love is a never-ending circle. It goes on and on, and it goes on and on. It goes on and on. It goes on. Love is a never-ending circle, and there's room enough. All of us, open your arms up wide. It goes on, it goes on, it goes on, and on and on and on.
Thank you, Reverend Fran. That was beautiful. Gorgeous. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Catherine Economo, otherwise known as Cooking with Christians assistant. I'll tell you that gazpacho is really good. It cleared my sinuses, so I'm really awake now. So I would get some after service. It's really good. He's a great cook. Thanks, Dr. Christian. So it's my honor to welcome you here this morning to Seaside. Here at Seaside, we are a spiritual family. We come together here to journey through this life together. We have the opportunity to share in the celebrations and the joys that we experience, and this is a safe, sacred space for when we hit those more difficult moments in our lives. And through our classes and our inspiration in our services and our practitioners, we have lots of opportunities to grow and to deepen in this walk with the divine as the divine that each of us is. And so I'd like to welcome you all here this morning. I'd like to particularly welcome anyone who's joining us for the first time. We are so grateful that you're with us. We're thrilled that you decided to join us this morning. And I'd like to point out that we have a welcome center in the back of the family room, and that we encourage you to stop by and say hello and pick up a packet which has some information about who we are and what we believe and what's going on here at Seaside, which as you look at your program, there's a ton of things going on here. It's such a wonderful, vibrant center. And there's a gift certificate in there for a book so that you could get one of Dr. Christian's books in the bookstore. So I encourage you to stop by, say hello, and meet someone new today. If you're here for the first time, come and say hello and meet someone new and see what's going on here, because I'm sure you'll find something here for you. I also have the great honor of doing our spiritual reading for today, and it's from Dr. Christian's book, Joyous Living Journal, and it's entitled Dream Big. So I'll invite you to take a deep breath, just close your eyes and open to these wise words. Karen Ryan said, "Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be." When President Kennedy declared that the U.S. would land a man on the moon within the next decade, He had no idea how that was going to happen. What he knew is that unless we're willing to dream big, we will never become the greatness we are meant to be. Along the way to achieving that dream, so many amazing things were created and invented that our lives were completely altered because of that dream. You have big dreams too. These dreams are Spirit's impulsion to live and love, to grow and give as you through a full, rich life that contributes in a meaningful and powerful way to all life. So go ahead and dream big. You cannot outdream God. Live fully. It's never too much for Spirit. Explore new things. It's how life is evolving. Love extravagantly. It's really the only game worth playing. Every time you embrace something more, greater, deeper, richer, or higher in your life, you are expanding how much of life you can express and experience. And so breathing together into this inner realm, moving even deeper into this inner sanctuary of potential and possibility, this space within us that is the divine heart, that place where the divine life reveals itself as our life. I know this is a place of God, this infinite spirit, this creative force that is ever pouring itself forth into life as each of us. Because simply all is God. That divine unfoldment of life as love. There is a divine perfection, a harmony, an order, a vibrance that is Spirit expressing as all things, infused in all things. And on this day we remember. We remember the truth of who we are. I know that I am the manifestation of this divine life, that my word is the word of God, that my life is the life of God being well lived. And I know this for each of us, that for each of us, we are that perfect, whole, complete expression of God, moving and breathing itself into being as us, as our experience. And so in this, there is perfection, there is wholeness, there is peace, there is light, and there is love. And so I know that anyone who has put forth a prayer request simply has that divine activation right where they are. I know that this moment unfolds in the grace of God, and that as we say yes to that divine dream, then all the infinite powers of the universe and all of nature rises to express our freedom. For it is truly why we are here, to be that which we have come here to be. And so in that there is only the divine yes. And so with a grateful heart, I bear witness to this truth for each. I celebrate the divine life unfolding in its power and its presence, and I surrender, knowing all is well, for God is here. And so it is.
Hey, Carl, how you doing? Fancy meeting you here. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Memorial Day weekend, the beginning, and we're going to have a nice start. The sun's coming out. Y'all are looking good. Are you feeling good? That's good. That's really good. That's the way to go. We have a wonderful guest artist this morning. She drove all the way down from Valencia Park this morning. Christian reminded me that was above, what is that, Mounts? What is that thing? Magic Mountain. Above Magic Mountain. So that's a long way to go for, come down and sing for us. But she has the most gorgeous songs. Margaret Owen is considered a great songwriter in our movement and has been singing at lots of special events. And we consider this a very special event, too, this morning. And she has honored that and come down to sing for us. These are two original songs, right? Oh, well, whatever. I'm always like this. Okay. She's singing two beautiful songs, and we'd like you to put your hands together for her.
Go out of your body, out of this space. Go out of the atmosphere, out of the galaxy. Go out of this universe. And when you're there, take a look backwards and tell me if you still care about all your troubles and how big they are. Can you still see them, gazing at them so far away from reality as you define it? It's all just an energy. You may need to realign it, 'cause nobody gets to dance for you. Nobody makes your dreams come true, but you get to, yes, you get to. And nobody's gonna light the way. Nobody brings a brighter day, but you get to, yes, you get to. You're stronger than struggle. You're larger than pain. You're wiser than worry. More powerful than circumstance. Admit that you're infinite. You can't get it done. This life's but a moment, and you will go on and on. Those things that you're reaching for, they need your belief. Stir up your faith just a bit. They're waiting to be received. 'Cause nobody gets to dance for you. Nobody makes your dreams come true, but you get to, yes, you get to. And nobody's gonna light the way. Nobody brings a brighter day, but you get to, yes, you get to. It's how you perceive, it's what you believe that colors the day you're bringing. It's there in your hand, it's at your command. Why wouldn't you wake up singing? Nobody gets to dance for you. Nobody makes your dreams come true, but you get to, yes, you get to. And nobody's gonna light the way. Nobody brings a brighter day, but you get to, yes, you get to.
That is Margaret Owen, back on the Seaside stage. Wow, nobody can do that dream for you. You got to do that yourself. What a great, great message for today. And let's see, because this morning's message is about dreaming, and it is about dreaming big. Your disease or your sickness can't get in the way. Your lack, your limitation cannot get in your way. And today we celebrate, if you would, or just take time to pause and honor those that have assisted our nation to be great and to be able to dream big. The United States has been blessed in its ability to go big, to have a big dream, that it's intended to be a blessing. And this day we just stop and we pause, and tomorrow to honor the men and the women who have been willing to give their life for that idea of freedom and the possibility that exists. And there's a saying out there that these young men and women have been willing to give a blank check that they signed that is used for whatever it is they have to give up, and including their life. And many of them have. And so we pause and remember that, because no matter what difficulties we have going on within our nation, it is still a great, great nation. It is, and people line up to get here because it has the ability to allow individuals to manifest their dreams. We can have a dream, we're going to land on the moon. We don't know how, but we end up getting to the moon. We have individuals who say, I'm going to be president someday, and end up being president without the ways and the means and the clear track. But that is what happens when you are willing to dream big. And today's message is to remind you to dream big, because without dreaming, you will never be as great as you could be or as you were meant to be, or the possibilities that reside inside of you. Without the ability to dream and to catch that vision, you cannot become as great as you can. I mean, it's that simple. It's just, that is the way it is. And you cannot outdream God. I want to fill you in right now. So go big, because as soon as you begin to dream, I want you to be aware that all the ways and the means are already in store and provided for you to access. Carl Sandburg, a great American writer, recipient of 4 Pulitzer Prizes, said, nothing happens unless you dream. But what I want to add to this morning is that what happens is that we were dreamers. And I trust we still are dreamers. But as we begin to manifest some of those dreams, what happens is individuals as well as companies begin to hang on to what it is they created. They try to hang on so they can make it to the end of the life before they run out. You know, I got this pile, and now I'm going to make it last. I'm going to hold on to this until I make it to the end. Woo! Rather than shooting for the moon again. Rather than dreaming big, they continue just to hold on. A classic example, Swiss watches, right? We still know Swiss watches are the best. But in the 40s and the 50s, do you realize they controlled 80% of the clock market because of their excellent expertise? 80,000 people they employed in making Swiss clocks. And in the late 50s, the guy came to him and said, hey, I got this new idea. It's called digital watches, digital clocks. He said, get out! Forget it. And today, 80% of the clock market is digital, and there's only 18,000 individuals employed by the Swiss market. I just want us to get that even though we may have dreamed big and we have been successful with it, unless you continue to dream big, unless you continue to have new ideas, the world is going to pass you by. Classic American story. I read this in Huffington Post from the 22nd, just a couple days ago. In 1974, there was a guy who worked in their lab by the name of Steve Sorensen, who was told to develop a digital camera. It took him a year, but he developed the first digital camera. He's considered the founder, creator, innovator, inventor of the digital camera. Kodak poured $1 billion into its development in the subsequent years, but they never had the marketing plan on how to bring it to the market. They could never get themselves onto hanging onto their developing and their old styles of cameras and their Polaroids. And all of a sudden, boom, last year they filed for bankruptcy. Darling of the Dow, filing for bankruptcy. This is what can happen when you stop dreaming big. It's not as if when you were young, you had these great dreams. You could go out and conquer the world. You could do anything. Ta-da! But then, what's happened to that gutsy individual that was alive in there? Where have they gone? What has transpired in your life and your world? This morning is about to stir that up once again, to have that young child, that believer inside of you, to remember the possibility that existed, the one that believed in the dreams that they could go out and create that infinite realm that is out there, the one that could see, because there's 2 ways to sing. You can see with the material eyes of why things can't be done, why it's difficult, why I should hang on to what I've got so I can make it to the end without losing it all, or the one that is able to see spiritually. The one that is able to see with the eyes of God, that one that was looking through that young child, that one that has the spiritual vision that knows with God all things are possible, that infinite reservoir of infinite possibilities is stirring within your heart and your soul, and that you can go for. You just need a little bit of change. Change is good. I mean, not always is it good, but it's you don't just change for change's sake. Was it G.K. Chesterton, English philosopher? He said, you don't go take down a fence until you know the reason for what it was put up. You just don't change to change. I mean, because not all change is an improvement. But without change, you don't have improvement. That's good. You write that one down. Because if you are going to unfold and evolve and become that which you are intended to be, you were created to be, you've got to be willing to let go of what you are. which is pretty heavy stuff, because I like what I am. But I've got to be willing to surrender what I am and allow that change for the improvement to move me to the next level of a Christian 2.0, like the next chapter that is in there. And with that come the mistakes, $1 billion to develop a new digital camera and then not even bring it to the market. What are you thinking? It's like you have the ability, and you've got to be willing to go through the faux pas, the mistakes, the stumbling, and the bumbling. But what's important and imperative, as you have a difficult moment in the bringing forth to the market or to the world or to your life, that new expanded version of who you are and the new dream, you've got to not beat yourself up for those mistakes and not agonize over them, but allow them to be learning opportunities, learning experiences, that I am growing and gleaning that which is necessary to bring forth this new greater aspect of who I am, and the big dreams inside of me are what's enticing me. It's what's tantalizing me to let go and go a little bit further into space, into that new realm of possibilities. Start that new chapter, no matter how challenging the mistake has been. Do not agonize over beating yourself up. How could you? What were you thinking? Isn't that terrible? Or what pain, what loss, whatever it may have been. Allow it to be the launching pad for that big new dream you've got. When I read or hear the name, Alfred Nobel, I think of the Nobel Peace Prize. But what many of you are probably aware of is his story, in that how he made his fortune was that he invented dynamite and new kind of explosives that were then used to kill lots of people. And what happened to him was his brother had died. And the local newspaper ran the obituary, but they thought he's the one who died. And when he read the obituary about this man who made his fortune by this new kind of explosive that killed unprecedented amounts of individuals in war and other kinds of things, it shook him to his core, and there was something inside of him that said, no more do I want to be remembered for that. And that is when he decided to write the new chapter, 2.0 version, chapter 2. And said, I'm going to commit my resources and my life to create something that promotes peace upon this planet. And then made that new intention, had a new big dream, and was willing to let go of what he was known for who he was in this world, for something that was greater. What is stirring inside of you that is greater, that is calling you forward into your life and into your world, that is exciting? What is it that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning? Not the person next to you, I hope. I take that back. I am so sorry. I don't know how that one slipped out. Yeah. But it's that dream, that vision. Without vision, people perish, is what we're told. Without a vision, the people perish. It's like, I don't want to get up. George Burns, who made that date to play at his 100th birthday years in advance. He said, I've got to have something to get me out of bed every day. What is it that excites you? That's what I'm talking about, the big dream, the big vision that makes time just disappear, that allows you to be so engaged and excited about life and the world in which you're walking, in which you're doing. What is it that is calling you forth to bring forth that greater aspect of who you are in your life? What is it that moves you to begin to know that there's more inside of you? To let go of what was. We all have the ability to dream, and we've all had the dreams that we've gone after before. Where is that gone? It's still there. I want you to understand that something is still there, but you have got to be consistently supporting it. That's why you get up out of bed in the morning, because there is something exciting, there's something dynamic that is calling you into life, that is calling you into action. Because, we have this vision, and the vision so often, or the dream so often, is I should be able to accomplish this much in a year. And it's said that we overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but we way underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years. What's calling you? I read, you may have seen, April 29th this year, Virgin Galactic spaceship made its first powered flight into space, and it's a 6-seat passenger plane. It made its first test flight into outer space, and return back to Earth in California safely, which is an important part of that, you know. I mean, definitely historic for tourist space travel. And Richard Branson, whose company it is, a Virgin Galactic spaceship, we call it Spaceship 2, he was so excited that he came forth and he said, you know what, I am willing to proclaim that by early 2014, we will be running tourist flights into outer space. We're going to get this going faster and farther out there, and I and my family will be on the first one that goes out there. Now, he's not the only one who is doing space travel on a private citizen kind of basis, but I believe that he's probably right. He's going to be the first because he has 560 tickets already out there at $200,000 a pop for travel. How big a dream do you have when you own your islands, when you own your own airway? Do you quit and say, I've done good? Or do you keep dreaming big? If you're going to be filling your mind, you might as well fill it with big stuff. It doesn't take up any more space, I assure you. You know, think small, think big. Go either way. It's a Trump kind of approach to life. You know, if you're going to be thinking, you might as well begin to catch the vision that you're intended to bring forth into this world and make the decisions, which is really the father of making these things happen, in a consistent kind of basis, and go out there and try it. And you begin to have... when you make the decisions, you realize it's not conditions, but decisions that determine the quality of your life, and that you may make some poor decisions, but I'll tell you what, good judgment, they say, comes from experience, and experience comes from poor judgment. And there we go, get back to that point of where I've made a mistake. Am I going to agonize over it, or I'm going to learn? I'm going to continue to dream big and have that something stir my soul, so I'm willing to go forth in life and be consistent in making my decisions, and the decisions come easier, and I can begin to make them quicker and the more rapidly to bring forth that vision for which I have been entrusted to bring forth to humanity. And these decisions help you come up with questions. And questions are extremely valuable to help you be on the right track for manifesting your dream. You know, Ernest Holmes says we live in the realm of infinite possibilities that are forever seeking expression. I like to say through you. So how do you do it? You ask a question. Is this right? Does this fulfill the vision? Does this fulfill the dream that I have? Is this right? There's this young guy who was beaten up by the 7th grade bully. He was angered, he was pissed, he was embarrassed, had resentment. He got his hands on a handgun. And he went to his tormentor, and as he was about ready to pull the trigger, he asked himself a question. What kind of life will I have if I pull that trigger? Just a question, a valid question. And all of a sudden, in a split second, like life passes before your eyes, he saw a life in jail, miserable, horrible, and in that instant, he redirected his aim, and he fired at a tree and didn't shoot the bully. Bo Jackson was this kid who then went on to become this athletic legend, one of the great athletes of our times, playing 2 professional sports at the same time. And in that moment, he made a decision, whether that would have led to a life that was miserable, that made nothing out of this kid, or a life that allowed him to become that which he was, this great role model of possibilities, a big dreamer, of going for it big. Decisions are imperative and important in assisting you to hone in on bringing forth your dream. And as you get consistent in making those questions, you begin to know the decisions you have to make to bring forth that something that you have been entrusted with in your life. It will stir your soul, which is why you have to dream, and I encourage you to dream big. That's what Seaside has done. You don't think we ended up here because we dreamed small. When people said it can't be done, there is no money in the bank, or the bank's not lending, or whatever the story is, we chose to have a vision that came from a spiritual perspective, that came from God, that says all things are possible. And that vision in which I have been entrusted, you have been entrusted with, is possible when you remember to unite with God. Oscar Hammerstein said, how can you make a dream come true if you don't have a dream? You've got to remember to dream, and you will find the ways and the means. There's a Swiss saying that said, the ones who must sing will always find a song. And so, you get to continually Bring it forth, even if you don't see it. You know, the classic story that's used in all sorts of spiritual centers is about the bamboo. You plant a sprout of bamboo, and I'll testify to this because it's going on at my house. You know, you plant it in the first year, a couple inches it grows, you nurture it, you take care of it. Next year, second, third year, a couple inches, fourth year, a couple inches. And then in the fifth year, bam, 80 feet it grows. You just sit there for fun and watch it grow. It's like, whoa, whoa. You know, I don't know what it's doing under my house now, but I know it's probably not a good thing. You know, it's like, that's what we've got to do with our dreams, is continue to nurture and love them and encourage them. And even when there's only a little something, little direction, you just continue to nurture and take care of that. And over time, what will happen is it will build the strength and have that something that, boom, will break you free of the difficulties and the challenges and the constraints and the constrictions and the fears and the limitations. But you've got to be willing to bring this spiritual vision to the situation as opposed to buy into what's going on there. I mean, you ever been waiting in line? Probably. And I'm thinking of a checkout stand. And it's like, you got in the wrong one because that person is just new. And you're waiting, and the person in front of you finally says to the checker, I don't have all day. And I remember thinking, I don't? I do. I've got all day. I've got all day to share love, to care, to be kind. I have all day to bring forth the presence of God and be this positive influence in my life. And as I begin to share that, I feel, so Christian, what you need a little bit more is patience. But patience means I'm waiting for something to happen. So I've come up with, instead of having more patience, I want to be more present. I want to have more presence. I want to be present. Instead of patient, I want to be present in the moment with the infinite possibilities that are existing right there. And begin to bring that forth into the awareness of that time, that space. I want to bring forth that caring, that love, that kindness, that nurtures, that's something that's stirring, that's ready to take off in my life, that is out of this world in possibilities. I mean, we're talking space travel next year, guys. That's pretty amazing in our lifetime. You know, it's like things are going on that are incredible. And it takes the time to sit with it, to be with it, and to allow it to emerge beyond the material kind of perception that says it can't be so. Thinking about one of the times I was sitting in Montana on one of my hilltops. I've got it cleared off, and I've carried up these stones. And it's up a hill. It's ridiculous, but I did it. It took me several trips to Montana. But I've made this big 24-foot wide stone circle on the top of this mountain where I sit down and I do my meditation. And I look out over my lake, and behind the lake is the Swan Mountain Range. It's just gorgeous. In the winter, it's covered in snow. Summer, the pine trees are just fresh, sparkling, clean scents. And I sit there, and I look at that mountain. I think, wow, you're beautiful. You're majestic, magnificent, strong, incredible, ancient. I sit there with that. And I get back. So are you. It's like, what? It's like, so are you. You know, I'm as much in nature as that mountain is. And as what I'm admiring in that mountain, it's looking back and saying, so are you. Strong, magnificent, beautiful, and powerful. But you've lost that vision because you got caught up in the material view of things, the atomistic view of duality, that it's a struggle or it's difficult. Well, Christian, the reality is this. Yeah, whose reality? And maybe this world, but it's not the spiritual truth. And what you are is a spiritual expression bringing forth this dream. This is how you recognize the greatness that you're intended to be, is by believing in that dream. So you're that place in which it touches down and begins to take form in your life. What is it you are choosing to believe? Because I'll tell you what, that mountain has no concept of my struggle. Sorry, Christian. You know, it doesn't realize how hard it has been or how sore my body is carrying those stones up that mountain that, you know, it put down. It just doesn't get it. And what I recognize is our spiritual practitioners, when they hear the stories of the pain and the difficulties, the concern, the fear, the worry, the anxiety, the doctor's reports, the bank reports, they're like the mountain. They don't see it as your reality. It's the truth of who you are. Every prayer request that you put in that prayer request chest, I don't pray to overcome that challenge that is there. They see that name and know the fullness and the presence, the magnificence and the beauty and the strength of God is there, and everything that is necessary is there, because with God all things are possible, and they begin to see you as that expression of the divine presence. It's not I need to deny what's not working, and it's about knowing the truth of who you are and what is working. And this is how the healing happens. And it happens because you're being enticed to go big in your life, to go bigger than where you have been, to close the last chapter and open up so you can become a fresh place for that fresh flow of that fresh life to show up in your world in a new way that allows you to be taken out of your old world, the old atmosphere from which you have known. We're seeing it take place in the physical realm, and we're here to tell you to let it begin on that inner space, in that inner kingdom, that spiritual place. Because as you do, you'll begin to trust more and more that inkling, that insight, the chills, the ideas, that stirring of your soul that says, Christian, you can do it. Remember when you used to believe that all things were possible? That person hasn't gone away. They're still alive. But you need to have enough excitement to entice your soul and your spirit to get up out of its complacency and to step into life in a new way, in a grand way, because all things are possible. God bless us. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Margaret Owens back to the stage.
You can spend your whole life building something from nothing. One storm can come and blow it all away. Build it anyway. You can chase a dream that seems so out of reach, and you know that it might never come your way. Dream it anyway. God is great, but sometimes life ain't good. And when I pray, it doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. This world's gone crazy, and it's hard to believe that tomorrow will be better than today. Believe it anyway. You can love someone with all your heart for all the right reasons. In a moment, they may choose to walk away. Love them anyway. God is great, but sometimes life ain't good. And when I pray, it doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. Yeah, I do it anyway. You can pour your soul out singing a song you believe in, that tomorrow they'll forget you ever sang. Sing it anyway. Yes, sing it anyway. Yeah, I sing, I dream, I love
That is Margaret Owens. Oh my. Incredible. Thank you. It just gives me chills. And I just want to share a story just briefly. I was very humble about it. But you may remember last time Margaret was here, it was more than a year ago. She was in a wheelchair and was with a debilitating muscular challenge within her body. And her husband had been driving her everywhere to the gigs for the last 2 years. And there's been an amazing turnaround in her physical body and stands before us as a radiant whole expression of life. And just so grateful. Yeah. It's because she chose to sing it anyway, you know? Chose to sing it anyway. Chose to believe in a dream that is bigger than what's going on in the body or in life. That is a testimonial for us to just know that's what we have on our side. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness, in our financial contribution. This is the time of our service where we have the chance to do this. You know, this community is supported by us. There is no outside organization pouring forth support. It is together we have created this community. Together we sustain it, and together we assist it to move through time and space to be that spiritual vortex that inspires us to dream big, to sing it anyway, to remember that no matter what is going on in the world, I am still at choice to choose to see as God sees as opposed to the way the material physical world sees. So I want you to listen to your heart and listen to what is stirring in there and asking you to believe in that desire to support God's expression, because it comes back. It's not why you give, but as you open up and become that channel of its abundant flow, it comes back in the level in which you have chosen to participate in life. You become the activity in which that infinite shows up as your experience. And if you are able to practice, not just speak, but to practice that which you believe, you'll find amazing, amazing results. And so, say yes to what's going on inside you. I want to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew. And thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday, as well as those who remember us with the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seasides. And a special shout out to our home viewers or wherever you may be on watching the live streaming. Thank you for your support. I offer this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing truly that this is a moment in which Spirit invites each of us to go big, invites each of us to be that activity through which that infinite pours forth into the particular realm. A moment in which each of us can move beyond our self-inflicted constrictions and fears and limitations to be that place of expanding greater good. For I know right now we are dealing with that which is inexhaustible, that is forever moving and is seeking its expression of life through you now. So I know right now that this is a moment of the great yes, of the divine manifestation of greater good. For that which has blessed our life, this is a moment of choice where it's sent back into the world, knowing it continues to bring the love and the good to all those that comes in contact. And so it is. Amen. Together, let us say our affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of the greater good as my life now. Carl Christ on his birthday on the harmonica. Great job, Carl. And the guys from Seaside. And I stand here in just awesome wonder and appreciation for this generous outpouring of love and support for this spiritual community, which is God's work made manifest. I know right now that each individual who is given from the fullness of that overflow that is within their heart and soul, I know truly is blessed at the level in which they have chosen to participate. For the blessings of God is everywhere, is omnipresent, and it shows up in those ways that are relevant and real and right for everyone. And I know right now as it shows up as the blessings for Seaside that is taken in and handled with a good stewardship and sent forth back into action into this world with the blessings and love for which it has been given, received, and circulated. So thank you for this wonderful opportunity to rest in that secure place and peace of knowing the abundance of God continues to be part of all of our lives. And so it is. Amen. All right. Thank you, Trudy. That is your board chair. So just bless you for your wonderful support. Margaret Owens, you were fabulous. So fun to have you back in action at Seaside. We missed you. Reverend Fran, what a joy to have you in your patriotic colors sharing your artistic expression. And always a joy, Reverend Catherine, to share a Sunday morning with you. Bless you. Hey, what's happening next Sunday? Graduation, big day. 4 o'clock, right? Right here. We have churches from around Southern California coming to have their practitioners walk in the cap and gown ceremony. The graduating ministerial students, this place will be packed with people from the Centers for Spiritual Living celebrating. It's a big day. It's a day in which the movement is uplifted. It is a significant day in the life of Seaside as the movement, and it's hosted right here. And your very own Dean of Ministerial Students being sent into the world is Reverend Catherine. And so come out, support her. 4 o'clock. Giving us sound today is Ed. Giving us the visual is Marv. Great job, guys. And know that CDs are available after the service. Tim Griffin, thank you for sharing this with the world. That is just literally seen by thousands of people through the course of the week on the podcast, and a bunch that are watching us right now. Your presence is felt and loved, and thank you for that. Lots going on at Seaside. Take a look at the classes that are starting up here and the activities. But the big news today is the last day in which you can talk to Cindy about being willing to be a host for Gourmets for God. Go grab some of my gazpacho that is back at the Gourmets for God table and see if it's really as good as Reverend Catherine told you. And I'm sure it is, even better. But what's big about today is this is the day in which we have new members join Seaside. There are 27 individuals that have signed up, have shared with us. They choose to align their spiritual journey with Seaside. They've taken the classes. I want to invite them to stand up here today. And we will officially welcome you into Seaside. So come on up, those that are present. And afterwards, we're all going out to lunch. Come on up onto the stage. Hey, all right. This is great. All the ministers, come on, join me here. And we're going out to lunch afterwards. So everybody, come join us. We're at the Firefly Grill. It's right off El Camino. It'll be a great party. When we're done here, guys, I'm going to pray us out. And I'd like you just to make a line down the center. It's going to be a reception line like a wedding so we can welcome you officially. But first, I want to go down this line and have you share your name just briefly with Seaside.
Share my name.
Your name.
My name, Joyce Wayman.
My name is Tony DeCilio.
Morning, Sue Kaufman.
Hi, I'm Barbara Banks.
Gail Terrell. Sammy Sunshine.
Gail Sekundiak.
Don Catafias.
Barb Catafias.
Kathy Crawford.
Rosedale Jones.
Kathy Hirata.
David Epstein.
Cindy Epstein. And would the real Nancy McConnell please stand up?
Hey, all right. Thank you. Well, so as I share these words, just listen to them for yourself as if when you became part of this spiritual community, because we're in a new age and a new era. Minister, you guys want to stand over here with me? This is our wonderful ecclesiastical team. I Saw Christina there too. All right. And this is Reverend Lori, and this is Reverend Tammy, and this is Reverend Catherine, and this is Dr. Christina. And Reverend Franz up there on stage, he's ready to sing, and this is your ecclesiastical ministerial team. And what's important to us is that our community is a community where people of like mind can come together to learn, to explore, to play, to celebrate, to come in times of joy as well as times of pain, not to sit in personal judgment where I can't come there because everybody's so happy at Seaside. Realize this is the exact time in which you come here, is where we can love you up. We are here for one another because when some are up, some are down, and that is the reciprocity that goes on in community and family. And so one of the most satisfying of human experiences is when we have found a human home or community to align our spiritual exploration and journey with, and this you have done. And it is through the wonderful works and the fruits of our works that we take our authority. We hear amazing stories of healing that go on in the physical body, like we heard of today. We hear them take place in our lives, in our business, in our personal experience, and they just deepen the conviction and the faith. And that is the beauty that comes from celebrating and worshiping in a community, as opposed to sitting alone on a mountaintop, which is nice, but you still have to come down. And when you do, you have a wonderful home where we share. And so know that there is not the church and the people, but rather it is the family that is the church. We are its hands, its heart, its head, its feet, the action, the very life of this community. And so within the body of this spiritual community moves its heart, and that's what you are. You are the heartbeat. You are the outreach. You are the one who takes this love and this idea out into the world. We are a community that supports spiritual leaders. We empower one another to go out into life. This is not a place where one gives their power away to outside intermediary, but to recognize the depth and the strength of your soul and your spirit. This is what you're communing with. This is what you're aligning with this day, is a spiritual community that officially takes a stance in the world that says that power of God is within you, expressing as you is the level of your life expression. And so at this time, I celebrate your willingness to be part of this family, and I'd like to invite your board president up to officially welcome you on, because I was just carrying on.
You are unifying with each other and with the members of the center and all members of centers of spiritual living throughout the world in a warm and loving divine fellowship of spirit. As you enter into this center's activities in thought, word, purpose, plan, and action, you are important in a unique way to each other and to all humanity. Through your adherence to and practice of the teachings of religious science, you become a vital factor in establishing and maintaining the kingdom of heaven on earth. As you join in membership cooperation, the experience of each is enlarged and expanded into greater good, for as you enter into a life of service to mankind, to life itself and to God, you knowingly become one with the very spirit of divine presence. In this way, you increasingly become an influence for good in the lives of all of whom you contact. The one obligation placed upon you is the obligation you place on yourself in the fulfillment of the purpose in your heart and for this center and the meaning of this membership to you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the other members of this center, I lovingly receive each one of you into membership into Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. Congratulations.
Hey!
I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Everybody and see. We are family. We are family. Doesn't everybody and see? We are family. Ever sisters with me. Hey, hey, hey. Our family. Everybody and sing. We are family. Everybody with me.
standing for a quick prayer, for it is in this moment of celebration and love that I can feel this family expanding and growing, which is a natural expression of God. For God is emerging in this moment, known as the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, through each and every one, and there's a blessing that's taking place, and I know right now there's a healing going on. For within this consciousness, there's a shift and an opening to the greater expression, the greater dream, the greater way of being, and letting go of what was to embrace the 2.0 new version. Chapter 2 of that new expression, the dream made manifest, is our very life. Whatever it may be, it is all spirit. And so I know right now there's an ease and a grace and an abundant flow of health and wealth and love and joy and communication going on. And so I let go with gratitude and appreciation, and divine right action is the very way of being. And so it is. Amen. Great song.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I did not know the love of God who was at hand. But now I can say you are discouraged and trying to make it through. It's one more day. You got to let it go. Let it all go. Everybody put your hands up in there like this. Go, go. And this is what we have to say. Everybody say, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I can see you. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. You know there's no more sorrow, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. You know that I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. And there's no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for... Now everybody sing. Spirit, run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm only here for God. You know there's no more struggle, no more strife. Faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
And our affirmation is, I dream big on the wings of spirit. Together, I dream big on the wings of spirit. Again, I dream big on the wings of spirit. One more time. I dream big on the wings of spirit. And our song of grace. See if we can keep the middle aisle open.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. To joys and through fears, in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me. Well, it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk, God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Amen, amen. Hallelujah.